other arguments, both spoken and also textually, but also to creating your own arguments for the purposes of not only our research paper, but any sort of future document which requires you to persuade or convince. Now, the T, R, and E stand for your thesis, reasons, and evidence. The thesis is a statement, not a question, unlike our inquiry question, which will lead eventually to a thesis statement. The thesis is clear and direct, and you can support it with reasons, also called key points. And your reasons are then supported by the evidence. The thesis is not an opinion, so avoid those statements, I think, I believe, I feel, anything that is coming from you, your values, your beliefs, your motivations. This is not the genre for that. We are looking at the concrete facts. Now, your reasons are used to support the thesis, and they're usually framed as because statements or something similar. That because acting as a link between your claim and the ways that you can explain why the claim is valid or true. Now, after your reasons, you support them with evidence. So it's information or data which it will expand upon, clarify, or demonstrate your reasons. Right? So it's like a mini way of saying, hey, my reasons are valid and supportable, and therefore my thesis is also valid and supportable. Oftentimes evidence is going to include numbers, quotations, charts. You might include, for example, some evidence across different opinions, but the evidence should not include your opinion. It's okay to include what, for example, a scientist says, supported by the research, but again, this is not where you are putting something you believe. And all evidence should be cited, and we'll talk about how to do that later in the course. So here we have an example of a potential claim, and it's purposefully kind of silly just to demonstrate these connections and make it a little more lighthearted. So donuts are the best breakfast for busy college students, right? So here is the thing you are trying to convince or persuade your audience about. The yellow squares are going to represent our reasons here in a moment, and the blue are going to represent the evidence. Now, I like the image of the tree because you see that each component follows the next thing, right? So we start with our claim, that's the trunk. Nothing makes sense without the trunk of the tree, right? It's not a tree without the trunk. From the trunk grow the reasons, right? So those first supporting branches. And then from those first supporting branches, smaller branches deviate, and those are going to be your reasons. So our first reason is because they are cheap. Donuts are the best breakfast for busy college students because they are cheap. And our evidence is going to support that. So 69 cents at Safeway, cheap. $1.69 at Starbucks, a little more expensive, but at Starbucks, still cheap. $7.99 for a dozen at Lamar's, right? So here we've got 12, do that math, and it's a pretty good deal, right? So all of these pieces of evidence seem to say, yes, they are cheap. And that idea of being cheap marketed towards those busy college students, right? I mean, who among us has a lot of money when we're in college? So that is one, sort of valid reason, considering the audience and backing it up with something tangible that they can see. So in this slide, I've included the evidence for the two other reasons. And I would ask that you pause the video here and consider if you can deduce, right, or guess the reasons that are being supported by this evidence. So go ahead and pause the video, read the evidence, see if you can find the reasons. Now, the reason that I asked you to pause and look at the evidence to try and figure out the reasons is to demonstrate again that we have to go from that trunk to the supporting branches to the more distant branches. Because without those clearly stated reasons, you as a reader or your readers of the researched argument, they have to fill in those blanks based on the reason, and that can be a really frustrating thing, which actually might discourage your reader from continuing. So it's really important that you get that middle step between the claim and the evidence, so it's really clear for your reader. So hopefully you guys got something close, right, to widely and easily available, because those three reasons of grocery stores, coffee shops, and dining halls, we're talking about the accessibility, where you can find them, which is, again, they're pretty much everywhere. And then for the last reason, being portable, right, easy to carry, the reasons being weighing a few ounces, coming in small boxes or paper sleeves. You could even expand that last one to say, right, because they are so small, they fit in most backpacks, purses, whatever else, lunch boxes, right? So you're starting to get even more into the details. And again, all three of these reasons, cheap, widely and easily accessible, and portable, are good reasons for the audience, right? For those busy college students who are running to and from classes and they need something, again, cheap, easy to find, easy to carry, all of which make it easy to kind of eat on the go. So a homework reminder based off of this lesson, you're next going to watch the Reading for Main Ideas video. This is going to help you guys understand how to move from the TRE into creating an outline of an argument, because that TRE does start to become the introduction and the body paragraphs of your researched argument. Each one of those reasons is going to have at least one paragraph of support with evidence and explanation. After you watch the TRE video, this video, and the Reading for Main Ideas video, you can move on to the Don't Blame the Eater reading, which is found both under the homework page, under Unit 1 module, and under the Readings module. Now, as you're reading, annotate the article, right? Marking, highlighting important things, underlining, notes in the margins, asking yourself questions, looking up words you don't know, anything that's going to help you really understand this article and take away the most important information. Once you've read that article, complete a TRE chart and submit it to the Canvas assignment, bringing both the completed article annotations as well as the TRE to class on Tuesday. These will be used for a group assignment, right? So with your pods. So it's really important that you come in with a clear understanding of these concepts.